Before the 20th century, Palestine was under Ottoman rule, with a mixed population of Muslims, Christians, and a small Jewish minority. Communities generally coexisted, but the rise of modern nationalist movements changed the dynamics. European Zionism sought a Jewish homeland, while Palestinian national consciousness was emerging in response to imperial pressures and migration. British policies, particularly the Balfour Declaration of 1917, promised a Jewish homeland while also assuring Arab rights, creating contradictions on the ground. Increased Jewish immigration and land acquisition generated friction with Arab residents, laying the groundwork for future conflict. In 1947, the United Nations proposed dividing Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states. Jewish leaders accepted the plan, while Arab leaders rejected it as unfair. Violence erupted immediately between communities. Israel declared independence in 1948, prompting neighboring Arab states to intervene militarily. The war resulted in Israel controlling more territory than the UN plan allocated, and forced around 700,000 Palestinians to flee or be expelled, an event known as the Nakba or catastrophe. Refugee displacement and unresolved territorial disputes created long-term grievances that continued to fuel the conflict. The Six-Day War in 1967 reshaped the region. Israel captured the West Bank, East Jerusalem, Gaza Strip, Sinai Peninsula, and Golan Heights. Millions of Palestinians came under Israeli occupation, facing restrictions on movement, access to resources, and political rights. Israeli settlement expansion in the West Bank and East Jerusalem created new flashpoints and complicated the prospects for a contiguous Palestinian state. Occupation and settlement policies produced friction, resentment, and resistance that persist to this day. The Palestine Liberation Organization (PLO) emerged as the main representative of Palestinians, initially engaging in armed struggle and later diplomacy. Dissatisfaction with the PLO's compromises led to the rise of Hamas in 1987 during the First Intifada. Hamas combined Islamist ideology, social services, and armed resistance, gaining support where secular leadership seemed ineffective. The split between Fatah PLO and Hamas created political fragmentation, complicating governance, international recognition, and negotiations with Israel. Following Israel's withdrawal from Gaza in 2005, Hamas won the 2006 elections and took control of Gaza in 2007. Israel and Egypt imposed a blockade citing security concerns, severely restricting goods and movement. The blockade led to economic collapse, high unemployment, and a chronic humanitarian crisis. The blockade also fueled resentment and support for Hamas, creating a cycle of resistance and military confrontation. The conflict often escalates due to specific triggers. Jerusalem, particularly the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound, is highly sensitive. Perceived violations can spark wider violence. Rocket attacks, military raids, high-profile killings, or arrests can ignite retaliatory cycles. Each episode of violence tends to escalate, involving both sides in attacks and counterattacks, perpetuating the cycle of war. The Israel-Hamas conflict is shaped by global politics. Israel receives strong support from the United States, while Palestinian factions have backing from regional actors. International law debates, including settlements, occupation, and refugee rights, play a role but rarely resolve disputes. Diplomatic shifts, including settlement approvals, normalization agreements, and aid, influence tensions and limit avenues for compromise. The conflict's structural causes include overlapping nationalisms, imperial legacies, refugee crises, occupation, settlements, political fragmentation, cycles of violence, and international involvement. Power asymmetry between Israel and the Palestinians entrenches distrust, while repeated failures of political processes such as the Oslo Accords left core issues unresolved. These conditions created an environment where conflict could repeatedly flare up. Hamas gained prominence due to its combination of social services, political activism, and armed resistance. It built legitimacy among Palestinians frustrated with the PLO and the lack of progress toward statehood. Hamas's control of Gaza under blockade and conflict conditions entrenched its authority and created conditions for repeated confrontations with Israel. Both sides experienced deep moral and psychological stakes. Israelis prioritize security and survival, while Palestinians focus on displacement, occupation, and dignity. Human rights concerns, civilian casualties, and collective punishment exacerbates mistrust and hostility, making resolution more difficult. Moral narratives reinforce the perception that compromise risks existential or national loss. Core obstacles include refugees, territorial disputes, Jerusalem, security, domestic political incentives, and international factors. Political leaders are often punished domestically for compromise, and fragmented Palestinian leadership reduces negotiation credibility. Proposed solutions, such as a two-state or single-state solution, face structural, political, and logistical barriers that make them extremely difficult to implement. The Israel-Hamas conflict is the result of layered historical, political, and social causes. Partition, the 1948 Nakba, the 1967 occupation, the rise of Hamas, Gaza blockade, and cycles of violence have all contributed to its persistence. Understanding these origins is essential to identifying realistic paths for peace. Durable solutions require addressing historical grievances, security concerns, governance, and humanitarian needs simultaneously, alongside political courage and international support.